Yo, 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 what's poppin', everyone? This is your boy Dance the King, and I'm back this beautiful Monday morning with another video. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Today I want to put this out there. I went to church over the weekend. I actually got these from the sermon that was preached, but I wanted to, for lack of a better words, regurgitate what I've heard, and I wanted to put my own spin on it. But as you can see in the title, these are 3 habits that God wants you to have, or you could say 3 lessons that God wants you to learn, and just in general things that I believe that God wants you to practice throughout your whole life to give you, a better life, man. A life with no fear, full of hope, and just full of rigor and full of oomph, and not just down and depressed all the time. Because our God is a God that wants you to just move on and press on. So these 3 habits are things that I think that God wants you to practice in your life. This is your boy Dance the King. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider giving me a like, subscribe, and hitting that notification bell. And also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video. And follow me on my other links below. So let's get into it. So these are 3 habits that are 3 lessons that God wants you to have. And the first one is, what's the first one? The first one is always be willing to forget your past, or be willing to hit that reset button. Coming from someone who's, always, not always, but I made mistakes, plenty of mistakes in my life. And I used to always ponder on these mistakes, and I always used to remind myself about how if I didn't make that mistake, how things would be so much better in my life now. If I didn't do that one thing, or if I didn't say that, if I was more this, if I was less that, how much better my life would be now. And I would think, even if I used to make this statement, man, if I could just go back in time, things would be so much better. I could fix that, and I would be so much better off. But that's not even always the case. You can make a mistake. What if you could go back and change that mistake? Doesn't mean that, that you won't make another one. And it's not a guarantee if you go back and fix that mistake that everything is going to be, all butterflies and roses now. But think about the butterfly effect. You change one thing, then 100 other things change in your life. So even if you could go back in time, there's no guarantee that things are going to be even fixed in your life. So if you're thinking that, might as well just stop thinking about it, because you're a human being, and you're a fallen human being, and you're going to make mistakes no matter what you do, no matter what, even if you could go back in time. So one thing that I believe God wants us to do is, hit the reset button, man. If you mess up, hit the reset button and keep pressing forward, man. God, you ask God to forgive you, and you just forget, because He forgets. He throws our shortcomings in the sea of forgetfulness. So forget about it, man, and press on, because there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it that's going to change it anyway. So you might as well just forget about it and press on, because God is, and God remembers. He can remember everything. He does remember, actually, to a sense, everything that you do. But how little He regards your mistakes, He says that He'll throw it away in the sea of forgetfulness. So He disregards that, because He wants you to move on, because He's moving on. He has bigger plans for you in the future. He's moving on, so He wants you to do the same. And think about it, just holding on to that mistake is just going to make things worse for you. It's not going to help you in any regard. you know. And I said it in one of my videos I did a few days ago. I was talking about kind of this same thing. Like, it's just going to cause you stress, and that's what the enemy wants to give you. The enemy wants to give you stress. He wants to give you pain. He wants to, you know, give you worry and all these things. Sorry about that background noise. We just have to bear through it right now. But the enemy wants to give you pain. He wants to give you stress. He wants to give you discomfort and all that. But God wants to provide you the opposite of that. He wants to give you a sound mind and peace and all these things. And it's hard to get peace and all that if we are always just thinking about, you know, the mistakes we made and pondering on these things and allowing these things to weigh us down, you know. So we have to, like, you know, just forget about the past. And I know that's not easy to do. It's not easy to forget about the past. You don't just press a button and then, oh, past, forgot, and, you know, we move on. No, it's a whole process. It's a whole thing to do, and it's not easy. But if we can, to an extent, you know, just kind of just push it aside and learn that lesson from what we gained from that mistake that we made, then, you know, we could press on, and we could press on, and we could do better things and not have to worry about it, you know. So yeah, that's the first lesson that I wanted to say. We have to be okay with pressing the reset button, and we have to be okay with making mistakes and starting over. And, you know, that shouldn't be a habit. We shouldn't get used to the habit of making mistakes. I'm not trying to say always just look to make mistakes, no, but when we do make a mistake, we shouldn't be afraid to move on from that mistake, okay? So that's habit number one. Habit number two is, man, I can't remember habit number two. Okay, habit number two was to always be ready to live in the hope of God's love. Always just live in the hope of God's love, and live in the hope of the future. We have to be ready to live in the hope of the future, and be full of that, man. There's so many things that we should be excited for, things that we should be happy and looking forward to for. There's so many things that could have went wrong this weekend for you, but it didn't go wrong for you. It could have went wrong. And yeah, there's so many things that could have went bad, but it didn't, because God preserved you and God kept you together. And there's no reason to think that he won't do it again. Now, I'm not saying it's a guarantee that we're going to live to see tomorrow, but, you know, we should hope for things that are good and not just assume that things are going to be horrible, you know, because things, if we just assuming the worst, then that means, you know, things are just going to be bad. You know what I mean? We should assume the good, have hope for the future, and have hope for these things, for good things to happen for our families and for our friends and for ourselves. Because what is the alternative to doing that? The alternative to that is just what? This doubt and sadness and pain and confusion and all these things, you know. A lot of people don't like to, I have a lot of friends who say they don't like to have goals or anything in their life because they feel like, well, what's the point of having a goal? What's the point of doing all this and that if it don't happen? I'm like, well, I mean, why not? Why not still? That's not an excuse not to have one, in my opinion, because, you know, I heard this quote from someone named Jim Rohn, I think. Jim Rohn, and he basically said your life is like a ship on water, you know what I mean? And if you're on a ship, ships have not an anchor, ships have the little sail or whatever, and they have the motor that spins. But if none of that is operating on the ship, then basically you at the wheel of the ocean, and the ocean is going to take you wherever the ocean takes you. And if you don't have, you know, a destination of where you want to go, the ocean might take you somewhere that you may not want to be. You may not want to go where the ocean is just going to naturally take you. And that's just like life. Like life is like water, and we are all ships, captains of our own ship. But if we don't have an intentional destination where we want to lead, then it's going to take us somewhere, and it could be somewhere that we don't want to be. Maybe somewhere, maybe you're lucky and you end up somewhere that you all are okay with. But more than likely, you're not going to be somewhere that you're okay with. You're going to end up somewhere that you don't want to be, that you don't want to be at. So we have to know where we want to be. We have to know our destination. We need to at least plan where we want to be at. Because, like I said, we might be somewhere that we don't want to be. I believe that God gives you your goals. He gives you the desire that you should have. And he gives you that direction where you want to go. So you talk to God and you pray, and he'll give you a goal. And it may not be perfect or whatever, but he'll give you something to aim for. And you aim for that target that he gives you. And you could miss, you could end up somewhere else, but at least you're aiming at something. And you're not just out here just blind, just going through life and ended up somewhere that you don't want to be at. So if you're watching this, man, have a goal. Have somewhere where you want to be. I have one, and I ain't always had one. But I have one, and I'm aiming towards that. And it may change, because just like in the ocean, there's storms in the ocean. And those storms can have you, all and everywhere and at this vision, also our signal. But we don't know where we're going to be. We don't know. So it's best to plan, best to have a plan, best to have a vision. Okay, that's number 2. Actually, that was supposed to be number 3, but I forgot what number 2 was. But now I remember what number 2 was. But we'll just use this one as the number 3 habit for today. And the number 3 one is don't be afraid to refocus on your assignment. And this kind of goes back to forgetting your past. If you say you make your mistake and you're off track. Say you have a goal. Say, okay, I found the goal. And say you make a mistake on that path on achieving your goal. But you make that mistake, and now it's like, oh, I made that mistake. I don't know what to do now. And now you're off track. Now you're off doing something that's not part of your purpose that you're supposed to have here in life. So now you're off your assignment. So that's the lesson. Lesson number 3. Always take time to refocus on your assignment. The devil, God is not the author of confusion, for one thing. So by contrast to that, the devil wants to provide you confusion. So he's going to give you something that's going to take you off balance, going to have you overthinking, going to have you doing all type of things that's not your purpose. It's not what you want to do or not what you should be doing. So you got to refocus, man. You got to refocus. When you notice you're going off track, you got to refocus on what you're doing. Because if you don't take the time to refocus, going back to lesson number 1, if you don't take the time to forget about your past mistakes, and if you don't have hope in the future, hope for the future, and you don't take the time to refocus, man, you're going to be all over the place, huh? You're going to be all over the place. You're basically inventing hell on earth for yourself. And Jesus died so we won't have to go through that. You can be in hell before you actually arrive in hell. I know there's probably people who don't believe in that, but that's fine. But yeah, people, there's a concept. I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but I just want to say this real quick. There's a concept that a lot of people don't believe hell as an actual place that you go to after you die. They believe hell is on earth. Like we're going through hell right now. And I kind of believe that partially. I think part of that is true. Because there are places going on. There's war going on. There's a whole lot of things that's going on in the world that's hell. I mean, you would say that's hell. It's basically hell on earth. But I also believe that you can create your own hell on earth. You can create your own confusion. You can create your own chaos, especially if you're not focusing. And if you're not refocusing on the purpose of what God has for you. And you're going You're going everywhere that the sea takes you. You're going everywhere that life takes you with no aim and no direction and no purpose. So by doing that, you can create hell for yourself on earth. You can create hell, and you can live in that hell, and it can be a whole sad life for you. Unless you do these 3 habits and refocus and have hope for the future, and be quick to forget about your past mistakes. You practice these 3 things, then you can I think you can create heaven. You can create heaven on earth. You can do the opposite of that. Because you have hope. Even when you make a mistake, you're not worried about it, and you have a purpose. So if all that's going on, no matter what type of pain, no what type of thing that you're going through, it's not going to bother you as much as someone with no plan or no direction or no aim in their life, because you have all that. You have hope, because eventually you're going to meet that aim. You're going to hit that target, and you're going to be good. You're going to be full of blessing and full of life and full of peace, So yeah, guys, I rambled a whole lot today, and this is not my best structured video. Just kind of like to go off the head and just let it all flow out. But I hope you guys got the point, especially if you watch this whole time. Number 1, be quick to forget about your past. Refocus. Don't be afraid to refocus, and be quick to refocus, and have hope. Have hope for the future. Have hope in God, and have hope for your future. So I hope these 3 things stick with you today, and that you think on these things throughout this whole week today. All right. So yeah, this is your boy Des the King. Make sure you, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you give this a like. Comment below your thoughts. Please comment below your thoughts. I'd love to hear what y'all think about this. And give this a like. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on IG. I have the links below in the description. And if you want to donate to this thing that I got going on, I got some donation links below as well. Cash App and whatnot. But man, God bless y'all. Hope y'all have a great Monday, and I hope this helps you prepare for the rest of your week. Be back soon with another video. God bless you all. Peace.